know at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. I'll call this meeting to order tonight at 4:59 PM. 1 minute early. Do I have to say 5? Does
5 o'clock, I have it noted
5
as
o'clock.
5, thank you.
It took a long time to say it. 5 o'clock.
Now,
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Our first item today is oath of office. So Ed is swearing in.
Director Fisher, will you please come forward?
I was going to say Director Fisher, and I was like, Mrs. Fisher.
Mrs.
Until
Almost, Miss Fisher.
almost Director Fisher.
Almost.
Almost Director Fisher.
We're getting there.
Would you please repeat after me,
Do I have to do this?
if you want to? I state your name,
I, Lovey Fisher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of Washington
of the state of Washington
and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances.
and that I will faithfully and impartially
And I will faithfully and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Ording School District Number 344,
of Ording School District Number 344,
Director District Number 2,
Director District Number 2,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Director Fisher.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I don't disappoint.
Well done. You won't.
No.
Congratulations. I'm looking forward.
My hands are full.
You're good. You're good.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, we waste no time in getting right down to business. So at this time, I'm going to call an executive session. We have 2 of them this evening. The first one is, no action will be taken in the executive session. And this first one is to discuss the performance of a public employee. And then we will move into the second one. Please hold for a second, which will be a review of real estate. So we will close for executive session, and we're going to the 12 room.
Correct.
So let's do that.
Do you have to give the time, amount of time?
30 minutes for each, thank you. Yes, 30 minutes for each, so we'll return at 6 o'clock.
We are excited for another season of watching our student athletes shine, from basketball, wrestling, to bowling, and our students continue to demonstrate teamwork, dedication, and school pride. We will wish all our athletes and coaches safe, successful, and exciting season.
Earlier this month, we welcomed back students and staff from winter break, which that's a good long 2 weeks that everybody needs, right? So we're happy to have our classrooms filled again, and we hope everybody enjoyed a restful and joyful break. And we look forward to, this is a good time to start the second half of the school year really strong.
Love it. So lots of great things to celebrate again around the district. It really never stops. So shout out, yeah, definitely welcome back everyone from winter break. That seems a while ago already. But hopefully everybody's having productive time in their classrooms, and sports are so exciting. I watched the wrestling match the other night. I love it.
But wait, there's more. January is School Board Appreciation Month, and we would be remiss if we didn't take a moment to celebrate our Board of Directors. This is surprising. We're surprising you. We know how you love anything and everything student created, things that have student voice. Your student board representatives came together to create a special video to honor and recognize our board of directors. So I would love to draw your attention to the main screen. I haven't seen this yet, so this is a surprise for me too.
Where's the picture?
Thank you, school board. Thank you, school board.
Thank you, school board.
Thank you, school board.
Thank you, school board.
Thank you, school board.
I just wanted to say thank you for our Ording School District Board. Thank you for all of the time and dedication that you give to our school and our staff.
Thank you, school board.
Thank you, school board. Thanks, school board.
Thanks, school board.
For all your hard work and efforts on behalf of our students and community.
Thank you, school board. We appreciate you.
Hey, school board. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share our student voice and represent our district.
Thank you for all your hard work in the bond and for prioritizing your students.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Can we get can you forward that to us?
We can send that to you, but we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Surprises continue. It takes vision, dedication, determination. As you know, changing a vision of a district takes great tenacity. Sometimes you don't pass the ball on the first attempt, or second, or third, or even fourth. Sometimes you don't see the student learning improvement results pop right away. You have to stay steadfast and believe in your team. And we're seeing some of those. And one of your fan favorites from a couple years past, Miss Sydney from Sydney's Sweets, worked hard to make some cupcakes for you. So we have some cupcakes. Cabinet, can you do me a favor? Go back to the table here and do your best Vanna impression and deliver some cupcakes to our board. And guests, everyone in the audience gets a cupcake too. You get your special treat.
Aren't you all lucky?
So yes, but don't eat it just yet because we're going to take a photo in celebration because in addition to cupcakes, we have treats for you as well. You give them out to everybody else tonight, you get your very own tchotchke. So on the cupcake side, we have salted caramel, we have Death by Oreo, we have German chocolate.
You said not to take them yet.
Oh, you can take it, just don't eat it yet. Don't eat it, you can't take it yet.
Pick which one or two you
Oh my gosh, I will take one of these Death by.
If you guys don't know, Sydney's one of our students, one of our alumni now.
Yes.
So,
What's letting you look in case someone says
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Thank you.
Red velvet and German chocolate.
Yep, red velvet, German chocolate.
I don't salted caramel.
So good.
These are the premium version from the Sydney collection.
Thank you. There's some perks here.
And we will make sure we save one for Carly. You know, yeah, we'll have one for her too. Board, Dallas as well. Would you please grab your tchotchkes and head over for a photo? We're going to do 2 pictures. Brittany's going to grab one of all of us to celebrate your.
Are we tchotchkes, like, does that include the cupcake?
Yeah, no, well, if you want to hold a picture of the cupcake, you can.
Can I take
But you can take the mug out.
I have been looking forward to this mug.
So you hold that and I'll hold this.
You can hold the cupcake.
I know. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna hold the
My
cupcakes.
hands are getting really full. Let's do it.
No, I don't. Then we can tag her.
So let's do a celebration photo and then we'll do one of just 5 of you. Because we need a new picture with this stuff. All right, gather in, gather in. Oh, you got all the outside. This picture, all you in.
We're missing a president.
Yeah. There we go. Squeeze, get friendly.
Okay, perfect, you guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect, awesome.
Now, board, we need one of just you, so if we can maybe set the tchotchkes off to the side, let's grab one of the 5 of you, and then we can continue a meeting.
So this is to replace our
This?
congratulations picture.
Yes. Now you have a new 5, a new Fab 5.
A new Fab Five. New Fab Five, we gotta scooch in, right?
Yeah. You guys know the drill.
We can act like we like each other.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Board of distinction, I love it. All right, congratulations, school board.
Meeting to get to.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sitting
Might need it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That was exciting. Thank you for the video. That's our favorite.
That was
really special.
part,
Yeah.
seeing students and staff. It's the best.
Well played. Well played.
I saw one of my former students.
Oh. All right. So yeah, fun recognition. Cool.
Yeah.
Next up is community and staff comments, and I believe Mr. Winters.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Good evening and congratulations to everybody. My name is John Winters. I am a resident of Ording, and I have two grandchildren that are in the Ording School Districts. One is in high school and one's in OES. The reason I wanted to talk today really briefly is because we have a couple of fundraisers coming up this weekend. We wanted to invite everyone on the board and the public as well to participate. The first one is a recycling drive. We're just taking donations, whatever you want to give. The recycling drive is specifically for electronic items. So it's perfectly timed after everybody gets Christmas gifts and holiday gifts. And if you want to get rid of only old electronics, computers, printers, television sets and stuff like that are very bulky and hard to get rid of, we're going to set up a box at the high school on Saturday from 9 to 1. Just bring your item up there. If you want to give a donation, that's great. We'll just collect it and we'll put it in the box and we'll recycle it. So it's a good thing. The second thing is we have a wonderful pasta dinner with live entertainment. The high school band and middle school band are going to be performing during that time. And we're inviting the public to come out there and everybody to have a good time and enjoy a great dinner and have some terrific music. That's at the middle school on Saturday evening. So you can get tickets at the door as well too. That's it.
What time?
Thank you.
I believe it's at 6 o'clock, and I did bring the flyer. Sorry, did not bring the flyer, but it is posted on various public forums, the Ording Blotter, the school. There's Facebook.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 to 7:30.
Gotcha.
As well as the alley.
Yeah.
There's a big
So bring an appetite, and you'll get some good music there.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I just forgot to mention that I'm speaking for Darla. Darla had surgery yesterday, so it was planned, so it's repair some damage in her shoulder. But if you want to give some thoughts and prayers to her, so I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
quick recovery.
Yes, quick.
And I like your t-shirt. I like your t-shirt.
Oh, yes. Veteran and grandkids.
I love it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
All right. And next up is our superintendent's report.
Okay, I'd like to invite Executive Director Fries to the podium. He and I are going to spin the report sharing information about our upcoming educational programs and operations levy, EP&O, for those of you that have been around for a while, formerly called the M&O levy. Post McCleary, the title changed to make it perfectly clear. Levies are for only and everything and anything not paid for by state funding. And newsflash, there's a lot of things still not paid for by state funding. Voters might be confused about bonds, levies. We ran a bond in November. Bonds are for building. We try to remind people of the vernacular so they don't get confused. They require a supermajority 60%. Levies are for learning. Those cover day-to-day operations, programs, staffing, supports that enrich the opportunities for kids. They require a lesser majority to pass, 50% plus 1. Over the last 40 years, we have never run a school year without a levy in place. So we have enjoyed a long tradition of community support. However, there have been a few times over the years where we haven't passed out of the gate, most recently 2020. In that case, we redouble the efforts, ask again usually in April, and hope we see success. What's the school levy do? It supports things like day-to-day operations and student supports, and that both comes into staffing and stuff. Enrichment opportunities like extracurricular, athletics, activities, performing arts. Those equipment, for instance, are expensive, the risers, the stands, so all those things are levy funded. Safety, Cliff and I will share some data about what is or isn't funded here over this presentation. Staff, They really help to make sure our kids have the opportunities they need to be successful. As you know, belonging includes what happens in the day, and there's a lot of things that happen outside the day that create that enriched experience, and they wouldn't, quite frankly, happen without local support. State funding is definitely essential and needed, but it doesn't cover the actual costs of day-to-day operations. It doesn't cover the staffing necessary to ensure students are cared for and safe. It doesn't pay for the staff or the technology, materials, supplies, curriculum that we need, and it certainly doesn't cover enriched experiences. This slide we've been sharing across the district, we wanted to share with you. The 1921 legislative biennium, over half, 51.6% of the state budget went to public education. If you look at this current biennium, that number has dropped all the way down to 43.2%. That over 8% drop in funding represents a $6.5 billion underfunding. So the state does spend more, but proportionally or comparatively, it's much less over time. How does Washington compare across the union? Well, the average state spends 3.1% of their gross state product on public education. Our state is down a little over 2.5%. So if you compare us to average, we're underfunding by $4.5 billion. If you took, I didn't make a slide for this, but rank ordered all 50 states, we're well under the 25th state in terms of aggregate funding. So no matter how you compare or slice, Washington continues to underfund schools, making local levies more important now than ever. The last year we talked about the legislative priority around the big three. These are constitutionally required items that the state should fully fund. Maintenance, materials and supplies, MSOC, transportation, and special education. Since 2020, we have averaged a $1.4 million deficit. Last year that grew to 1.5. So even in areas that are supposed to be fully funded, we continue to see an ongoing deficit, creating a need. Cliff's going to talk about, well, where does our local dollars go and what happens right here?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a shell game that happens when they say we fully fund basic education. There is, I do believe it's true that there is funding that goes to all categories of basic education in the school district. What that covers, I want to talk about in just a minute. So obviously athletics and activities, that's a no-brainer. That's one people obviously think about is not basic education, what you're doing physically after school. So that seems like something that we knew would cover. Nutritious services, nursing, technology, safety and security. And when we think about security staff, we often think of a police officer, which it does cover, but that's also crossing guards, that's playground supervision. Those are all things that are covered by the levy. Ed shared with our elementary colleagues this morning how many students it takes in elementary school before you get one. Think playground, crossing guard, one. And Ed, can you share with them how many kids it takes at the elementary?
Yeah, board guess. How many elementary students, how many do you think it would take before we get one funded position?
700.
700, that's a good guess. Wrong. It'll go higher, but good guess.
I was 2,500.
2,500, you're getting closer.
Oh.
You're halfway there.
I know the answer.
5,000.
5,000 children before we get one funded position. Yet in our district, we have about 13, including the SRO. Bonnie, would you go one
I would
forward,
love for
please?
the community to let that number sink in. So imagine our kids walking to school with no crossing guards, no playground monitors, like the absence of those roles, and imagining what school life and student safety would be like without them is
It's hard to fathom.
very hard to fathom.
One more fun one.
And we
So you all have children or grandchildren, or middle schoolers, correct? We would all argue those are the most mentally stable children that need the least. Right? So I'm just going to use that. Here's another guessing game, last guessing game. How many middle schoolers before we get a psychologist in our building?
Oh, a psychologist?
5,000.
Psychologist.
It's like 18,000.
18,000.
Did you prime them? It is
We do
18,000
our
middle school
homework.
students before we fully funded, right?
18,000 middle schools
18,000
before we
middle
get one.
So what we do is we're looking at the sentence of when we say we fully funded education, we have funded a psychologist in the state of Washington. Already schools have been funded for a psychologist at the rate of 1 to 18,000. So the idea to say we're fully funding education, we are fully, it's the fully that is probably up for grabs. Something I didn't know taking on this position, this baffled me as a taxpayer in Ording. I would have thought some of my taxpayers go to feed children at school. There is no state funding for food at school, so it's all based on that ticket. So that ticket is supposed to fully fund. We're always negative. Last year, we were over $250,000 negative to feed our children. We know what we can do to save money there is we can drop the quality. We can start heating things in plastic bags and giving our kids reheated meals is how we can make up some of that deficit. Not something I know the board has an interest in doing, is saving dollars at the nutrition of our children. So another thing is substitutes. We get 4 days of substitute pay at $152. We know that we pay teachers between $200 and $225 a day to sub for us. They give us $152 in only 4 days. We get significantly more than that. For classified worker, the state funding plan is we do not hire a single sub for any classified worker. That means if 5 bus drivers call in, the state model of funding says put them on a different bus. So we get $0. That means when you go on family medical leave, when you go on bereavement, when you take personal days, when you're sick, all of those are fully funded by the levy. So there's just a few examples that I want to share with you. Right now, you know this, it's weird to give this to the board. I'm giving this to all staff, telling them about what the board's asked to do. So I'm reporting this to you, but we're doing a 4-year renewal. I share with all of the staff that we've reported to that we are allowed to go up to $2.50, and we have some local neighbors that are doing that, and they've inquired here, you guys willing to do that so it doesn't look so bad for us? We answered our board has zero interest in raising taxes in our community. Our community is up to their chin in taxes, so we are not raising that. Thank you for that. I'll have you know we're set to collect $2.01 in this year, and so we're just under that. We put it at $2. That was our best guess. So we will continue at $2 of collection. As you know, voters do not approve rates, they approve amounts. So this thing now, we look at growth projected over time. You can see the difference between this 2027 will be just short of $10 million. Look what that growth does to try to help us make up the gap over time for the increased need we have for our kids. All the way up in 2030, we know we're going to be wrong, but at best guess, hopefully conservative, that should be up near $15 million at this levy rate.
Look at the average, just so voters see where we've been. $2.73 is our average over the last 20 years, so you're well under the average levy collection that we have put on the table. And part of that guessing game is what's happening with student growth. What will that do to our extracurricular programs and activities? And we need to make sure that we can adequately fund. Keep in mind, both your federal and state constituencies are signaling reductions. Both the feds and the states, and we don't have any money coming in. So we also, if you want to maintain intervention, quality food, all the things the levy goes for, if we're going to sustain that, we have to make sure we have the funding to do it, because it's likely not coming from those other sources. Key information, ballots drop this Friday. That's same time conveniently when our mailer should arrive, so we'll have that information starting to drop tomorrow. Election day is February 10th. From our post office, they're still recommending that if you're mailing it from home, you put it in the drop box the day before on that Monday, or a secure ballot box on actual election day so they can make sure every vote counts. We have more information on our website, and we have lots of videos coming online. If you haven't seen the transportation video, they do a brilliant job talking about how that creates opportunities for kids. Coming up next will be nutrition services, talking about the great meals and quality that you have enjoyed and directed as a board. And then we have more sneak peeks coming out over the next couple weeks. Awesome. So we're happy to answer any questions. That concludes my report, but we wanted to focus this meeting solely on the levy.
No questions. I wish our community would hear and listen to what gets funded and what doesn't.
We'll add anyone to the roadshow.
Yeah. Roadshow.
I think we're doing a really good job, though, in the last few years of getting that information out. I think the last levy, we pushed one nurse per 1,000 kids or 5,000 kids, I think it was, and the community was blown away by it. They were like, what? One nurse? And that's for the whole district. So,
And the other one was how many groundskeepers, do we even qualify for one?
You do, but without a levy in place, if you strictly tried to align what's funded, we would lose immediately 2 custodians and 2 grounds maintenance people.
Right. And people would try and picture taking care of all of our grounds workers.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
have abilities to do that job.
Since the last levy, the state had made growth in the amount of nurse support. We've moved from 1 funded to 3. We're still 2 short.
Wow.
So they have made some movements, but not enough, unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all.
I think the other missing piece in that is just the, our technology needs have changed in the last 5 years and how little funding goes towards that. And yet the expectation from our community is that we have one-to-one Chromebooks and that we have all the services and technology supports our schools need.
We share with our staff that if we tried to align to full funding, Matt Hunvin would have 1/2 of one of his current team left.
It's not enough. No, it's not enough. Our parents have asked for communication and email and all those things that require technology. So in order for us to continue with that, we need the levy to pass.
Absolutely.
And not just technology, but safe and secure technology. How do you do that?
Okay.
And most of the
We
reporting.
need everyone
you
to
have
vote.
And most of the reporting you have to do for the state is via technology.
Technology, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and it's the next steps. It's the way the world's going, so we have to provide that.
Right.
Okay. Good news.
Okay. Yep. All right, next item on the agenda. Our reports, and tonight we're starting with our facility update. Liz Leroy and Matt Rumbaugh.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited you're here too.
It's like the first official
It's been a little bit.
Nicely done. I just want to congratulate the district and the board. Very nicely done. Really a quick update. I just wanted to give you, to see you again, of course, and then give you an update about what we've been working on post-bond. We just started to organize our team, and so part of what you'll see before you in some resolutions is kind of that pre-planning some contracts as well as the approval for our GCCM process. We did just have a big milestone today. We had the interview process with the PRC, and they had approved us to move forward, the Oregon School District to move forward with that process. So that's a very exciting moment. We'll start advertising for that as well, and interviewing. There's a process for about a month and a half, and obviously be really transparent with the board and the community along the way. So you'll see an update in February, and you'll see some results of that interview process and the scoring and some of the indicators of how the district's going to make a decision in March. So expect that as we move forward. On kind of the consultant side, we're working with geotech, traffic, and wetland to gather still continuing information for our site and restart some of those key proposals as well, and making sure that they align within our budgets. As far as other things, the D-form process is something we pick back up as well for OSPI state match funding, and that goes into making sure that we're aligned within our budget as well. We had a range that what we expect, and it looks like we're still in alignment with that. Other than that, maybe I'll pass it to Matt about some of the other things we've been working on.
All right. I was thinking back to 2021, which is the first time I stood here in front of many of you, and I made a really kind of dorky joke or reference to, what to expect when you're expecting, right? It's been a long journey to get us to where we are now, and we're kind of doing that prep work so that we can be moving fast. But as we move fast, we still want to make sure that we are engaging with everybody here, not just you sitting in front of me right now, but of course the district and the community who's part of that as we start thinking about how we design these two projects. So if you remember the elementary school, we did a schematic design back in 2022. So we're going to be picking that back up. We're going to be starting to set up some opportunities to get feedback from staff and parents, etc., on where we were, confirm those decisions we made in 2022 or adjust them as makes sense, and then we'll start moving forward with the rest of the design for the elementary school. We haven't set up exactly what that looks like yet. That's what we're in the process of doing, trying to coordinate with Cliff and Ed and others to try to get that set up. So we're just almost there. So in February, we should start to see some work on that. For the high school, it's a little bit different, of course, because we're starting more from ground zero in terms of we didn't go through that design process on the high school in 2022. So we're just starting from the beginning now. So similarly, we're going to go ahead and have discussions with a variety of folks and set up kind of what does that engagement look like for the high school. And some of the first things we'll do is we'll be confirming, let's confirm all the spaces that are going to be in this new building. Let's do some master planning so that we can look again. If you remember, we did some master planning at the high school. Let's make certain that our current assumption about where this building goes is the right assumption. So we're going to revisit those things and just make sure that whatever we do now is going to make sense for bond number 2, 3, et cetera, so that we can plan out the future of the high school kind of as we're going through this. So those are going to be the two kind of primary, the starting things. So we're going to work through the spring on those activities. And then once we have a contractor on board, as Liz was describing, which hopefully should be late March, then we'll be engaging with them and having them be part of the design process so we can be kind of together. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Is there anything else you wanted to highlight here, Liz?
I'm not here. I think we just wanted to also listen from the board and see if there's a certain format you want us to go about some of the updates. Well, obviously, once we transition into March and have breaking further into budget, we have an update for budget tracking. That's going to be really important for transparency and making sure that we're aligned. But if there's anything specific that you want to hear from us or questions, I definitely want to make sure that it's either incorporated each month into the board updates.
I think since we don't know what to expect yet, having
Yeah.
not gone through this, you might just
that's
be
fair.
open to, hey, can we get, as we're going along?
Right. I did try, I was like, okay, what do I want to know every month? Project progress, I want to be able to talk with the community about kind of where we're at, what we're working on now, what's the next step. One thing that's unique, I think, about our property is that it is front and center coming into town and heading out of town. So everybody's going to be curious about what's going on. And everybody has lots of opinions about the Bridge for Kids work that's been happening. And I would love to be able to say, here's what we're doing now. Here's what you can expect to see out there. So updates like that are maybe have a little more details than some projects you might be used to in some projects, so that we can communicate that with our community. And next steps, what's coming, and then also the fiscal accountability. That's something I'm really very interested in, and making sure that we're on track and on budget, and being able to share that story too. I want to be able to speak confidently about that and assure our community that things are going well. So on a monthly basis, I'd love to have something new to talk about in the community every month.
Okay.
And just a reminder that if you hear questions about a piebald deer, it is a big deal. Okay, so we just want to make sure she stays safe.
Build a classroom for her.
Honorary gardens.
It is
Name
funny
something
because we visited the high school at the architectural team last week, and the deer did come up. And so,
Yes.
Community mascot.
That's right.
The community really pays a lot of attention to her.
Yeah.
Well loved.
I'm excited about the design phases for the high school. I was very impressed with, like, we asked the elementary schools what they would like in a playground, and just the ways that we were able to collect community input and staff input. And I thought the process felt great for the elementary school, so to overlay that for the high school, I'm really interested in that as well. Anxious to see what ideas come forward.
It's student voice.
Yes,
Student voice.
absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And as I think their value as we're talking to contractors, how can our students be involved and learn maybe about the trades, the process, and bring them into that as well. I'm sure that reflects an interest that you have collectively.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So something for us to be thinking about. I know you'll be present, Director Kinsler, through the process, but as we're talking with contractors, thinking about what would that look like? How do we set our kids up in that regard?
And I'm excited, I didn't realize we would get the GCCM approval so quickly. So I'm excited, congratulations, thank you. If you wouldn't mind, because that's mentioned in the presentation, but I don't know if the community understands why that was the right move for us. So if you could speak to that, somebody.
Sure.
I'll go ahead. Yeah, so GCCM is a process that's a partnership with a contractor. You bring a contractor on early. It really does produce a quality project. There's going to be challenges on any project for sure, but definitely because of the challenges of a busy road that you guys are on, 2 sites, small lay down space, access, and then also the improvements the city is making. Fording has a complicated build. There's other components like the soil conditions and things like that. But anytime you bring a contractor on a little bit earlier, this is a lot earlier. Some of the things that even Matt was talking about, the phasing and some of the making sure mechanical is up to date on an operated site when you have new and old and new, it's challenging. And routing is always never in the same spot that is on the as-built. And so that contractor can help troubleshoot and investigate early on. So it's really a partnership that's done early on. And I don't know if Matt, if you have anything to add, but.
I think it's also part of it makes sense as part of the strategy of being really responsive in terms of our fiscal responsibility for the project, because now we're going to have an extra partner early on to also be on the same page of, hey, this is crucial that we're doing this, and also on the schedule piece. It just gives you more flexibility and more confidence that we can help to achieve that for the district. The alternative would be just bidding it out and kind of just selecting whoever's the low bidder. That's one pathway. This pathway, I think, just gives us a better chance of long-term success.
I would remind the board that when Matt and Liz first talked with you way back in 2021, 2022, they were suggesting you consider this methodology for the high school. You have 70-year-old span of age and a variety of condition of facilities, and you're probably going to be remodeling over the next 15 years, and somehow you need what wasn't designed ever to be a singular one-site campus to fit and work and connect and talk with one another and be able to phase and grow over time in a way that makes sense. Your interest at the time was decisions that will last for the long term. So part of that hasn't ever changed. What is probably new is bringing the elementary under that same scope. Just we don't have the site, we don't have storage, we don't have the ability to really manage 2 separate things happening at the same time. So that is new from something that we probably talked about maybe 6 months ago. The more we looked at the complexity and the pilings and the involvement, it just really made sense to put that under one partner working with this team.
Good. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be seeing more of you, I think.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you both.
Woo-hoo, it's exciting.
I'm so excited. All right. Mr. Carlson, would you join us at the podium, please?
How are we going to pay for this, sir? Marcy will attest, there is no money in capital projects currently. We need your help.
Capital projects, Marcy? Okay.
No money.
We have a way to solve that problem. President Thibodeau, members of the board, superintendent, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Number one, congratulations. This is, again, the first opportunity to formally be in front of you. I ran into a few of you at the WASDA conference, and I think we had a collective high five, hug moment, so that was fun, but it's nice to be here in person and conducting business based upon the strong yes vote. So, again, congratulations. My job tonight is to provide you with a little overview of what your staff and I are going to achieve in the next few weeks. to put capital project dollars into the account so that your construction folks, in partnership with the GCCM process, can go forward and start working on the projects.
You have a remote to fast forward the slides?
Yes, thank you very much.
Choose to.
Yes.
Or Bonnie can catch you up.
Yes, thank you very much. And I always have to thank Bonnie. She is awesome. She is so helpful. She is so responsive. You all know this, but I have to say this in a public forum because I appreciate you very much. She always takes great care of me. It's great. So from a high-level perspective, I put some bullet points on the slide here. We'll go through one by one. Please stop me if you have questions, right? That's why I'm here. And then also, we will look at, and I'll just kind of go through some of the highlights of what this resolution accomplishes. It's relatively dense. There are legalese involved. If you read it, you might have had to read it 2 or 3 times to maybe understand concepts. So I'll hit some high-level takeaways from that also, okay? And Ed, I guess, keep me on track, or if you want me to do that right after this or later, just you tell me what you want. So from a bond financing goal perspective, our target is to deposit $60 million, 60, into the Capital Projects Fund on March 24th to really kickstart in earnest the planning and the acquisition of thought leaders to move forward with the projects. Minimizing interest rate risk is very important. Locking in a sizable piece of this transaction now is important. And think of this in terms of your mortgage, right? You sell bonds, you lock in, you get an interest rate for your loan, you close a couple weeks later, we close the bond a couple weeks later, but you have multi-millions of dollars of authorization, 137.2, that will be to be determined on the borrowing cost of those future bond sales. Because when we sell bonds, we lock in those borrowing costs. Those future authorization will tap into at a later date to make sure your construction cash flow is always positive. You have money to pay contractors and buy materials. So that's really important. So we want to make sure we're taking as much risk off the table as prudently as we can from a taxpayer perspective. So that was number 2. Securing low borrowing cost is very, very important. We will go through a credit rating process with Moody's Investors Service and make sure that we put our best foot forward. We talk about the growth, we talk about the enrollment, your general fund, things that we know the credit rating analysts want to chat about to determine your underlying credit rating. We will also utilize the School Bond Guarantee Program, so we'll use the AAA rating the state has as credit enhancement. That was built into, the authority to utilize that program was built into your election resolution. It's also highlighted in the resolution for your consideration tonight. So again, belt and suspenders, credit enhancement creates more safety and security, so investors know that for any reason you're not able to make the bond payments, the state will step in. It's a very great feature, and it only costs you $100 to apply.
Oh.
Best deal in town. Obviously, we have to structure the bonds in accordance with investor demand, right? This is a give and take. We need to make sure we're hitting all of your goals, but think of us as creating a product. We're creating a product that we need to sell. We need to sell these mini loans, these bonds, to investors. I have my finger on the pulse of the marketplace, so we will tailor the product to match their desires. Again, right, it's give and take there. Stable tax rate, $1.27, the magic number. So that is our eye on the prize. I will show you the eye chart in a couple pages that we've looked at in the past, but to memorialize things, I love to put it in the packet again so we can look back and make sure we're on target. And last but not least, make sure we're within the term limits that was included in the election resolution, 20 years, maximum amortization for any specific bond issue. That's key. It's not for the entire authorization. If we sell bonds in 3 chunks, each one of those chunks can have a maximum amortization of 20 years. Questions on goals? Again, a moment to memorialize. Your staff does great work with graphics I love to keep this in there because it helps keep me on track. We will never forget that it's $1.27 at the very bottom of the graphic.
Trevor, I did have a question.
Yes.
Just, if I remember correctly, the underlying rating, you said of Moody's, it was
Yeah,
good?
Moody's Investor
Positive?
Service, yeah.
Is it an A? Like, I'm trying to remember what it,
Well, at this juncture, since you do not have bonds in the books, you do not have an underlying credit rating. That went
Okay,
away
okay.
when your bonds were paid off. So it's a reassessment.
okay.
And we will do this every time we sell bonds. If we sell bonds in 2 chunks or 3, we will always need to go back because and have them do their due diligence. Because they need to have the most up-to-date information before they put their rating, their stamp of approval, if you will, on the bonds.
Okay.
So we'll go through that process
So we don't
at least a
have
couple times. Not right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
I estimate you will be a investment grade credit rating, which will facilitate very nicely the sale of bonds to investors. My guess is an A1, possibly an A2. The size of your district is a pretty important component, and again, you can't control that. The stability, the size of your general fund is really the big lever that you can control in that conversation. Your enrollment, you can't control. Size and diversity of your economy, you can't control. But we talk about all those credit factors with the analysts. Just in case there are any questions on interest rates have been pretty stable, especially the let's say Q4 of last year going into this year. We've sold a transaction for Tahoma School District, a little bit smaller than what you're going to tackle, but warm reception. The marketplace is open, it's ready for business, we are ready to move forward, and interest rates have been relatively stable.
It's good that people are willing to spend money.
Yes, yes. There are, multiple billions of dollars that come into the municipal bond marketplace on a weekly basis. Let's just say anywhere between, 5 to 15 billion. It gets soaked up every single week. It's a $4 trillion marketplace. It's pretty well-oiled machine. Sorry, but again, this helps us memorialize. You can hopefully zoom it up on your screen if you want to go into the details. But what we're targeting, I'd like to focus on kind of in the middle of the page in the blue shading, is right now our thought process on timing and size of bonds. So 60 million, 50 million in a year from now, approximately, and then a couple years out, 27.2 for the balance. This is a living, breathing document. After we sell this first sale of bonds, I'm in contact on a frequent basis with Cliff and Ed to determine construction cash flow needs. Again, our paramount goal is to make sure you have dollars in the bank to take care of construction, design, build, all those things. Okay? So again, this most likely will change, but this is our best guess now. Those estimated bond payments are in the columns below the below the blue boxes. And what that equates to is the $1.27 on the far right-hand side. Right? We're making a lot of assumptions. We're trying to be, diligent, thoughtful, conservative in certain aspects, because promises made, promises kept is part of, we've heard it from the construction team. I've got the same mantra. So again, as Cliff mentioned so eloquently earlier, we collect dollar amounts. Tax rates are a byproduct of mathematics. But again, we want to, as best as possible, maintain our credibility with the public. $1.27 is kind of the magic number. We're going to do everything we can to achieve that. Based on market conditions right now, our assessed value assumptions, the sale structure here, thumbs up, looks good. Okay, but again, we'll come back to you as things morph over time. A lot on that page, happy to go back. I'll push forward unless I hear otherwise. High level schedule. Cliff, I think was shocked when I sent the original schedule because there's a lot of things going on. My job is to hold hands and get us to the finish line. We will do that, I promise. High level, we're here tonight for your consideration of the bond delegation resolution. On February 9th, we'll have that call with Moody's Investor Service, Ed, Cliff, and I. We are targeting locking in borrowing costs, selling bonds to investors on the 10th of March, closing a couple weeks later. Closing means, relatively early in the morning, $60 million will be deposited into your capital projects fund. That's the big date.
You're not on vacation that day.
I'll be here.
And that's sort of an anticlimactic event too. It's just kind of some emails go back and forth. I mean, we wire all the money, so there's a big event there, but there's like some emails that happen and it says it's closed and it's done. Yes, yeah. Any questions on the bond sale, the process?
When does the repayment start? So, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm already thinking forward.
Yeah, we'll have a first coupon payment June of this year, and then principal happens every December 1st from this year out through 20 years. And we do that based upon tax collection cycle, which is based on calendar year. So it's always one where with Marcy and and Ed and Cliff, excuse me, on the the finance and operations team, we've got to switch our hat. We can't think about August 31st. We don't care about that. We do. But from a budgeting perspective, we have to make sure we don't get crossways because we're talking calendar year tax collections versus your budgeting process for August 31st. So to answer your question, we will have payments starting immediately, basically, in June. June and December, every June is an interest-only payment. December is an interest plus principal payment because we need to accumulate those tax collections throughout the calendar year, and December allows us time to collect the property taxes to make those principal payments every calendar year.
And are we already collecting, when does the taxpayer?
I thought it was 27.
Is 27, correct. So we are going to make sure we have enough dollars into your debt service fund to make sure you can make interest payments for the first portion of this. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. No, that is the tricky part of, especially a district that has no debt on the books. And the earliest, or an election early in the calendar year, basically before we can, it wasn't early in the calendar year, but even February, we still haven't collected taxes, and we're kind of putting that big mortgage in place.
Right.
Yeah. So there's method behind the madness, and we are making sure that the debt service fund is funded so that is achievable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, great question.
I'm curious how we'll see this in the financial reporting. I might need
Yeah.
a tour.
Good question. Yeah, so the initial thing you'll see in the monthly is the capital projects fund balloons substantively. Marcy has to line item and track everything that goes in and that goes out. Cliff, Marcy, working with Liz, will make sure that we have clear account code structure for everything under scope. So every invoice gets paid appropriately. It gets monthly tracked, and part of the monthly work is where are we budgetarily to make sure what we authorized, what we paid, what we've invoiced, all accounts properly, because we have to submit that regularly to OSPI so we can qualify for state match. And Liz's work with OSPI, well, that as well, through the D-form process, will seek clarity on what amount of that 11.1 million state match qualifies under what permissible category for which selective project. And once we go through all that, we're very clear. Trevor works with Marcy, his team, this spring, starting March-ish, April-ish, to make sure they are clear on the calculations necessary to service the debt. So next year's budget that you see in July will have clear amounts that they've been working on for months to make sure we have accurately calculated the amount we need to collect from taxpayers to service the debt.
And then you providing the budget capacity in your elected official roles to make that process happen.
So hopefully that kind of helped. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot. And to be honest, these are the most plain vanilla financing tools, but there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, so budget capacity is really important. And again, as Ed mentioned, we'll work with finance staff to make sure, again, like I mentioned, your capital projects fund, there has to be sufficient money to go build. Your debt service fund, we have a spreadsheet, and that's an account. That account can never be negative. We need to make sure there's positive numbers at all times there. So that's part of our assistance on an ongoing basis.
To remind the board, you have now the authority to sell $137.2 million worth of bonds. You don't have the interest to overtax your taxpayers. So part of what the next 6 months will probably drive is based on schedule and fiscal need. Are our assumptions correct mid-2027, and is that the right amount? And that's part of what this team will work with Trevor to make recommendations to you. When should that next sale be, and approximately for how much, so you can maintain at least that stable tax rate, or maybe save some money along the way.
Yeah. Again, thank you, great summary. It's a living, breathing document, and we can make adjustments as we get more actuals as they roll through the calendar year.
And if we can save money, boy,
Yeah, right.
All about that.
And keep in mind, when we ran the bond, we were calculating an interest rate of about 5.5% is our assumption. We love to beat everything we say. Trevor's team, Marcy, myself, Cliff, we want to be more conservative to make sure we can deliver on those promises. So if you're looking at, let's just say 4% interest rate on the first sale, it'll save your taxpayers $8 to $9 million over the life of that 20 years. Each little tick down adds up in the long run. Conversely, each tick up adds to the bottom line. So part of what he watches the market of, he might have a recommendation for you of when to move that may or may not align to the construction schedule based on what the market's doing.
Yeah, a lot of push and pull. But yes, well said. Very well said.
I'm grateful to be having this conversation with you tonight as a reality instead of a hopeful.
Yes.
Lucky number 7. Lucky try number 7. Love it.
Oh my gosh. It's a lot of work.
Just put in perspective, like a lot of work, perseverance. I think Ed, you mentioned perseverance earlier.
We don't quit.
We don't quit.
Don't quit on kids.
No.
Would you like me to give you a high-level overview of what this document, this resolution does or accomplishes?
Yeah.
Would that, yeah? Okay.
You're standing there, so go ahead.
Okay. It is multiple 20 plus pages. So this is a very standard document. Think of this as a contract between you as a district and the investor. Not me, the ultimate buyer of your bonds.
Right.
Or think of it as instructions on how the bonds work. Okay, simple way to think about it. One of the important attributes of this is it designates the superintendent and the executive director of business and operations as designated representatives who are allowed to bind in binding contract form the final terms of the bond sale within certain parameters, guardrails, okay? Those are in section 11. Those guardrails are detailed there. Happy to walk through them if you so desire. Another important piece would be section 8, where it describes the pledge of credit and the collection of taxes to repay the debt. You have unlimited property taxing power to collect sufficient dollars to make sure bond payments are made. That's why these are called unlimited tax general obligation bonds. Unlimited sounds scary, but we have
Yes, it did.
we have a debt service schedule, and what this communicates to the investor is that this is a very, very strong credit pledge, right? As long as there's taxable property, and a tax collector, that process will happen to collect dollars to remit for interest and principal payments. That's where the unlimited comes into play. And why that's important, drives down the borrowing costs substantially, right? Interest rates is a measure of time and risk. Higher risk, the higher interest cost. Low risk, low interest cost. Unlimited tax means low interest cost. School bond guarantee, where the state is a cosigner, low risk, low interest rate. And probably another important piece here would be section 14, where Cliff in his office is required to provide annual financial and operating data to the bond market on an annual basis. I call this the gift that keeps giving for 20 years. These are ongoing obligations, and the investors require us to provide certain information, audited financials and some other data, to a central repository, because these bonds can be traded on the open market. Just because one person or individual or corporation or insurance company or bank buys these bonds doesn't mean they have to hold them all the way until maturity. There's an active secondary market. And the ability for investors to have visibility on your financial position is key in helping them determine the value of those bonds on the secondary market.
So they get traded.
They can. They don't have to.
It can happen.
They can.
They
Yeah.
can hold them, they can trade them.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ones that start with it don't necessarily end with it.
Correct. But I want to highlight your borrowing cost is fixed.
Okay.
The same thing happens in the mortgage market, right? If we have a mortgage, I don't know if you ever got the letter where all of a sudden your mortgage is sold and you have to write a check to someone else.
Yes.
Same conceptual process. If you have a fixed rate mortgage, you still pay that same dollar amount. You're just paying it to somebody else.
Okay.
That can happen in the bond market, and specifically in the municipal bond market. Yeah, great question. But that's secondary. You know your obligation. It's fixed. That's,
And it's secure.
yeah. So those are really the important pieces that 25 plus pages detail in really the covenants of a loan, of a bond transaction. Questions? And this was prepared by your legal counsel, who has exceptional expertise in this area and is, super smart people. So this is, we've reviewed it. I know the staff has reviewed it. It is ready for your consideration.
Great.
Cliff, Ed, anything I've missed?
Probably
Or school board?
one item is that Cliff and I would see and approve any final agreement. And you have no vendor that would profit by a higher interest rate. So people out of the sale, there are some folks that get paid, like the attorneys or the sales agent, but there's no fiscal liability to the district or incentive for another party to pursue a higher than necessary interest rate. So the taxpayers do have protection. So his job, or anyone else has an entanglement, is to go get the very best interest they can for the district and find the best deal to an investor. Cliff and I will see and approve because you'll have made that authorization tonight, giving us authority to do so. But nobody can gouge the district or kind of create undue burden onto the taxpayer by saying, well, you said 6% on this agreement, so they're going to press that limit. Nobody can do that. So just know that throughout this process, there's no ulterior motive or hidden interest that creates risk for the local taxpayer.
The transparency is key. I've been doing this a long time. All of these interest rates are published. They are on the next day on a central repository that the world can see. If I do a bad job, it's out there. I don't do that again based upon you're going to tell your friends and neighbors that I didn't do a very good job, right? So transparency is key. it keeps everyone in the light.
Okay.
Okay.
You made me
Thank
wonder,
you.
like, what level of financial information would be available to our community on our website? I don't know. I'm just asking the question out loud for future thought.
Yeah, we can, let's
Yeah,
think about that.
Yeah, and I don't know what would, you know, make sense.
Yeah, what would resonate or be,
Yeah.
because
Or-
we will put together an offering document. Think of, you know, a company going public that has a prospectus. We will help, and legal counsel also help put that together, because investors want to see how the taxing structure works. They want to see your enrollment, they want to see your general fund. And it, you know, it's a little bit of a, you know, kind of a summary of the covenants that are embedded here. It's a thick document, but it is, again, fully transparent as far as how everything works. And there's a final official statement after the fact that sets the final borrowing costs, the principal, interest rate, and yield. So yeah, that information will be out there, and we can provide.
Or at least a contact Mercy.
Yeah, we can provide, you know, after the sale, a kind of a summary like this.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It is difficult to, we can think about it, but just
Yeah.
trying to distill down, you know, what we accomplished. We can put something together.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
Enough-
that transparency
Yeah.
with our
Enough for
community,
transparency
right? We want all that out
without
there.
being, without being too much that gets
Yeah, exactly.
muddy and not able to.
Or technical or,
Right. And you can think about it. It was just a question to
Yeah.
consider, that's
yeah.
all.
But yeah, no, we'll put together a bond sale results packet, and that would be great for staff to share with you, you know, the day of the bond sale, or that evening after we're kind of done doing all the details.
Could also be future items you discuss with your bond oversight committee and create some minutes or documentation and bring them in the loop in that regard. I'm sure you're going to want to keep all aspects of this project in an open, transparent fashion with that group. So things for you to think about as you provide direction back to the district and your owner's representative and architect about how to work that.
Great. Any other questions? Good? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, congratulations, thank you for the cupcake.
There's more back there.
Right. Okay. Back up. Finally, we make it to the student representatives report. I know.
Yeah, but Carly's not here. She usually does a really great job letting you guys know what's been happening in the month of sports. So I do my best. But truthfully, on the notes, she said she doesn't know how many events happen. So I'm just gonna wing it. So yeah, high stress at the high school right now. You know, semester is about to wrap up, so people worry about grades. We're very deep into winter sports, so postseason is coming. So there's a lot to think about, and a lot to be busy about. So I know I've been pretty stressed. So I've had to learn a lot of lessons, but I think it's good. A lot of growth. So yeah, busy January, but it's almost over.
How's wrestling?
Wrestling's good. I had to take a lot of time away just because I was sick and I had skin disease. And I missed a lot of time on the mat, but things are going really good. Subs is in 2 weeks. So, yeah, almost done. I grabbed 2 cupcakes. I don't really know what I was thinking. I'm still gonna eat both of them. So.
They're almost done, so eat up.
Yesterday, Carly met with the BIPOC Club at the middle school, which stands for Black Indigenous People of Color. I was not able to be there because I was wrestling. So I will do my best to share her experience. She wanted to acknowledge the fact that middle schoolers are having a really deep intellectual conversation at levels that she sees that some high schoolers don't even like to talk about. They had a lot of critical thoughts about, you know, their school system, and they talked about systemic racism. They reviewed Bernice King's MLK Day speech. If you don't know, she is Dr. King's daughter. And it was just an open conversation about the wants and the needs of the districts and improvements that they've seen. Compared to the last meeting that Carly went to last year, the amount of foul language is the same, but doesn't seem as targeted or hate-driven. So even though people are using the same language, it's not as in hateful intent. They just, need to start working on the fact that just because you don't have harmful intentions behind your words, doesn't mean that they still don't carry the same derogatory sense or meaning. But at least a little improvement. They expressed needs for more feminine care products in bathrooms, not just at the middle school, but at the high school too. And they actually said they felt a little neglected with the bond not including them, and they are curious on how we can still push for a better and new place also at the middle school. They started talking about how people can be in conflict with each other, but still have respect for each other's opinions, which I think is really, really awesome. Because, conflict doesn't have to be like arguing or something that's like negative. It can just be a space to discuss and clear up what's on each other's minds. So I think that's a really cool topic. There's some talks about the buses being overcrowded and unsafe. And apparently the activity bus comes too late in the day for students, and so it can be inconsistent and cause problems in communication or getting home late, early, or just missing it in general. And some students expressed some concerns about AI usage, and apparently teachers are encouraging AI usage, and that's making students uncomfortable. And teachers are starting to use AI in their lesson plans and making it feel like the lessons aren't as genuine and aren't really the real education that they feel that they need. And that's everything. Usually I would, have more of my own thoughts to share, but I wasn't there, so I gotta go off the notes.
That's a heavy list.
That was a lot.
I wish I was there. Dr. Lee, did you make it down there yesterday?
Very briefly, I got pinned that.
Yeah. So, it seemed like it was probably a pretty good conversation.
I mean, I'm glad that they're sharing what they're sharing at that point, because we want to hear that.
Yeah.
We need to hear that stuff.
Well,
Yep.
and can it be shared back to them that you have a board that's listening, right? That's important.
Yeah.
If they're not just, they're saying their words, but somebody's hearing them, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the point of what me and Carly are doing, so hopefully they know that they're listening.
Nice job.
Would you mind, some of what they discussed parallels or matches some conversations you and your fellow colleagues have had at the high school, and we had that first round of the Youth Empowerment Symposium. Would you mind sharing just a little bit about your work and your thoughts and what that was like coming together and kind of where you plan to go? Because I think there's what you unlock as a group of high school students could have some parallel benefit to the middle, aligned to what you discussed, because I know that's right where your interests have lied.
Talking about from the Youth Empowerment Symposium?
Yeah.
Well, I just think the most important thing coming from there is just letting students know that they have the ability to make these changes. I think that it was just a place where, I don't know, I think that not a lot of students realize the impact that they can have. And I saw a lot of students that I, didn't really see put themselves in these positions every day, take a lot of opportunities. Like Violet, you go over Violet from there. I know her from track, super outspoken, had so much to say there. I think it kind of just allowed her to bloom and realize, hey, I can, come out and run these projects. So I think that it's going to lead to a lot of change and a lot of improvement on more students creating outreach and giving students opportunities to kind of just improve and get work done.
So I mentioned that kind of the important list of things that were discussed at the middle school, and I want to make sure they feel like where do they go with that? And what outcomes would they like to see? And I know you weren't there, but then when you go to the student empowerment, is that the next step for them, is to be in that situation where they can lead a project or lead a movement or
absolutely.
engage
Absolutely.
people in more conversation?
I don't know, does the middle school have their own advisory council, if you know? Like personal advisory council like that?
Not like what Principal Carlson set up.
Well, I think that, there's obviously a lot of insightful students showing out. I think that that'd be super, super helpful at the middle school.
Yeah.
And if we could get more students at places like the Youth Empowerment Symposium, I thought it was going to be an instructional type of day. I wouldn't really say it was. I'd say it's just an empowerment thing. So letting students know how to use their voice. I think if you can get middle school students or students like this there too, that would be really, really helpful. And just start priming students to start taking action and knowing that they can take action early before they get to high school, because that will just get the whole.
Yeah, I think you'll see more of that round two, and I know they'd love to hear kind of what you worked on and what that focus is when you come back in February, because I think there's things that we can unlock that we can take to other schools. At least that's my hope, of kind of what you learn and take away from there, we can maybe replicate across the district.
I'm curious about the middle schoolers. First, it makes me sad that they weren't included in the bond. That kind of just broke my heart, honestly. But there are issues with AI specifically. And what exactly does that look like to them? So the teachers are encouraging use of AI, and the teachers are using it, and they're feeling less individualized, maybe, I think is how I was trying to interpret the notes that you were reading, that they're not, it's feeling very generic to them, which is really not something I don't think that we've been trying to move towards. It's every child and everybody, you're not just a number, you're not basic, you're something special. So I'm curious, because AI is so relevant right now, and it's a good tool to have, and I'm sure teachers need to use it for a lot of things, but I'm curious to kind of know what that looks like to the students, and why exactly is it affecting them that way. That's I know you can't answer that, but it's just it's an out loud thought. It's an out loud wonder.
Well, I think for me personally, I think teaching is a very personal thing. You know, you build connections with your students, and I think that's like, when it comes to like lesson plans, I use AI all the time to help me just, manage or keep track of things, but when it comes to like actually planning a lesson, it should be, specific to your students. I think that you can kind of try to use AI to help, but I think most of it has to be your own generic work, thinking about what the classroom needs. And I just did this experiment the other day with my dad in the kitchen. I had a different AI thing write an essay that was like a C, and then I sent it to ChatGPT and asked it to grade it. I just wanted to know how honest it would be with me, and I said it was like a B. And then my dad said, well, I think my ChatGPT would do something different. I sent him the same thing, and it gave him the exact same answer. Like, it was word for word. It's not very personalized, and you may think it is, but it's going to tell most people the same thing if you give the same prompt. So if one teacher is using it for how they feel that their classroom might benefit from it, and another teacher is using it, chances are they're just getting the same lesson plan. And then it just seems like the same thing, all 6 periods. It's not personalized. Some classes might struggle in other areas. And it can be used right. It just has to be very, very, detailed and specific. And I don't know how the teachers are using it, but if some students are feeling like they're not using it the right way, or it shouldn't be used at all, I mean, clearly that word is there. So that's how I would think about how.
Great insight. Thank you.
And I think you're correct. Being a retired teacher, I couldn't imagine. I mean, I could see doing an overview, but a day-to-day plan, because I mean, they couldn't predict this situation that would come up in your room, or the questions, or maybe the revelation. Like some kid goes, well, I just came here from someplace else, and there's this pertinent information that the lesson plan's not gonna, the AI lesson plan's not gonna know about, So I can see that maybe for a big overview, but I couldn't see it being able to actually select what you need to do for that group of students, which is going to be different each class.
And if there's any teaching, kids are going to pick it up because they're smart. And they're paying attention, right? And they're going to pick that up and maybe dissect it a little bit more than maybe should be done, but they catch it. And so if there's any light teaching going on, that just might be their assumption of what's happening.
And it's also not going to know about the individual interests or the experience from that classroom that maybe you're going to want to bring up, well, hey, I know that we can ask him about this because he's been through this, so like there's personal experiences that come into planning. So that's a good point, Dallas. Good, thank you.
Like a lot more conversation needs to happen around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention, I meant to mention at the start, but 2 students involved in leadership, Renee Martin and Emily Prack, they started this new weekly news recap. Every Friday on the OHS Spirit Instagram, they put together this whole video just talking about events that happened through the week, different like drives and charity opportunities at the school, sports recaps. They give opportunities for other students to recognize students, and I think that it's like really, really cool to just keep up to what's going on in high school. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. If you get the opportunity, every Friday we're supposed to 2-minute video, just giving you a rundown of the week, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty awesome.
And you said that was on Instagram?
Yeah,
On the
Instagram and TikTok, but I think, yeah, Instagram, OHS Spirit.
Okay. OHS Spirit. All right.
All right. Great, Dallas, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
All right, next up is prepared by Director Bannon. It's the financial report for October and November. Any questions? Didn't see any questions prior to the meeting? No. All's well? Thank you. And different this year, because we have an experienced board and Director Fisher is new, but returning board member. So this year we did prepared by for the Budget 101 discussion, but I want to direct the community to it if you're interested in how school budget is shaped and how it works. That presentation is embedded in our materials for your reference. So
And
thank you.
it's so good that I always print it out to keep it so that throughout the year I can go, oh, I forgot what that was.
All right. And our 6th report is an annual report about theft-sensitive assets in facilities, transportation, and technology, and that's a prepared by. So I went through the list, I didn't see any questions, and I appreciate our team for keeping track of all of that. Sparing us some loss. Takes a lot of energy to follow up on
Very much so.
everything.
A lot of time.
Yeah. And then next up is our consent agenda, which has, no surprise, wrestling field trips. And interlocal agreements, and then our board minutes, personnel and vouchers. So I would love to entertain a motion.
I move to approve items 1 through 7 on the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. And then we have a number of action items tonight, so we're just going to move through these. And again, the board has an opportunity to read each of these in great detail and ask questions, and we did have some questions come forward prior to this meeting that have been nicely addressed. I just want to check in with anyone if there's anything outstanding. Nope, good?
Nope.
Good. Okay, then we will move through with the first resolution.
I move to approve resolution number 4, 2025-2026, unlimited tax general obligation bonds 2026.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I'll take a motion for number 2.
I move to approve resolution number 5.2025-2026 for the Gary Doolittle Memorial Trade Scholarship.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Just a quick comment, a thank you to
Yes.
Mr. Doolittle's
Yes.
family for that.
Yes.
It's, thank you and appreciated, and thanks for thinking of our kids.
Did we send a card or something like that?
I think this high school might.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not sure if we did or not.
okay.
So that motion passed. Excited to have that new scholarship. All right. Next, resolution number 3.
I move to approve resolution number 6.2025-2026, Alternative Public Works, GCCM.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And then, resolution number 4 is designating the month as Whole Child Month, and that is one of our core goals. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, for the month of January, we collectively, for every month in the year, but specifically for the month of January, we collectively reaffirm our commitment to the whole child. This is an intentional goal of the board, which is monitored closely. So may I have a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 7, 2025-2026 for Whole Child Month.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Speaking of Bridge for Kids, I will happily take a motion for this.
I move to approve the Quigg Brothers First Amendment to Temporary Construction License Agreement.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And back to bond. So this is the Concerta Professional Services GCCM contract with Exhibit A. I will take a motion.
I move to approve the Concertus Professional Services GCCM contract with Exhibit A.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Also bond related, project related.
I move to approve the NAC Owner Architect Agreement for Ording Elementary School with Exhibit A, B, and C.
Seconded.
Can I get a motion? Oh, I got one. And seconded. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
Yeah, we got a few more to go here. Okay.
My brain short-circuited for
We
a second.
only have 4 more to go.
4 more to go. Oh, goodness. All right, can I get another motion?
I move to approve the NAC Owner Architect Agreement for Ording High School with Exhibits A, B, and C.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Number 9. This is a CTE conditional certificate request. Can I get a motion?
I move to approve the request for issuance of a new CTE conditional certificate by OSPI for the 2025-2026 school year.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And then our high cap program.
I move to approve the district's highly capable plan for the 2025-2026 academic year.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And in order for all of that to happen, may I get a motion for the superintendent's contract extension?
I move to extend the superintendent's contract 1 year to 2026-2029.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. More cupcakes for you guys.
More cupcakes. Perfect. Thank you, that was a long list of business. So last, I would really like to again welcome Director Fisher. baptism by fire. We jumped right in tonight, and this was a long meeting with a lot of really important business for the district. So thank you for your service to the district.
I
and the
started
board.
reading everything, and I went, I might want to rethink this.
You swore in affirmative.
Because I was like, I went, uh-oh.
That was a lot.
That was
That's
a
a lot.
lot. That was a lot. It's not normally quite like this. And I also want to thank the board for coming in early tonight and adding an extra hour to our meeting. Thank you very much.
I was also gonna wonder, the other people who applied for this position, were we going to extend an invitation, or was it extended to them to maybe join our bond oversight committee?
Yes.
So that they could start, learning
Yes.
what's going on and stuff?
Yep, I called everyone personally
Sweet,
and
good.
I invited them, encouraged them to be a part of the bond committee or any other school committee group, stakeholders, come to our open houses, whatever we might have, so that their voice can be a part of the conversation as well.
Good.
Yep. Board, any other comments?
My final comment of the evening will be to just the general public. There was a lot of meat in tonight's board meeting. There was a lot of action items that you heard go through. I just encourage anybody who has any questions, as I did, to reach out and to ask the questions and to get your questions answered. Legalese is complicated, it's hard to understand, and the more you know, the more comfortable you'll be. But I would just to encourage that to the public, if there's any questions about the stuff you're seeing here and don't understand, we have a wonderful superintendent who is more than capable of answering those questions, a finance person, and Cliff in his role. We have all the resources there.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for our gifts tonight.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Especially love the video. Thank you
Yes.
again very much.
That was awesome.
So cool. All right, then I will adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:35 PM.